Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Spikers playoff preview. We've got Buddy Hammond, world champion, national champion. Again, I'm Alex Hart and Caleb Wagner. And it's long journey and it's here. We're all going to be in Vegas tomorrow. And on Friday, we're going to be playing for a chance at $10,000 in Premier, $6,000 in Challenger, and $6,000 in Women's. And you guys are going to play an incredible new format in beautiful weather with hundreds of people and tribe spikeball community.
Yep. Yeah, super excited. So in our call or not our call, but in our video today, we're just going to cover a couple things. One, we've had a lot of questions, and we seek to answer those. The first one's about just how does this format work? It's different. What's different about it? What's the advantages, disadvantages? What are the pros and cons of that? We'll talk about the squad format, specifically the 2-point net. It's probably the most crucial part of the game that we hope to have you guys understand. We'll talk about kind of how you guys will report score throughout the day. And then finally, we'll go over with Buddy and talk about teams to look out for, teams that are going to do some damage and maybe our predictions. I think that'd be fun as well for Premier and Women's. So
let's turn it over to Buddy for just a second about what his squad is doing and his excitement and the things that he's looking forward to for the tournament here coming up.
Yeah, to be honest, my heart rate, even though I've been on this call with you guys for longer than we've been recording, my heart rate's still up because one, I'm excited for the weekend, and two, I was finally practicing serves again for a little while. So I might have some things coming out this weekend, but no, I got to meet up with my squad last night. All but one player was able to make it, and we had a really just fun session, getting to mix and match with each other, get to feel out the chemistry. And yeah, we're gonna be looking pretty sweet too. So I got some good matching outfits that I think is gonna help us look our best, which makes us play our best. So we're looking forward to it. And honestly, I want to shout you guys out again for all the work you've put in to making this event happen. I'm so excited for the squad format, my first time fully experiencing it. So yeah, I'm riding a high going into this weekend.
Cool. Well, we appreciate all you've done, and we're excited this journey together. So, all right, here we go. So we're also okay. So I'm going to talk about the structure of the tournament, and then I'll have Caleb talk about the strategy of gameplay, and then we'll go through kind of some things about that, and then we'll go to that next thing there. But first, let us show you exactly what we just emailed to everybody. That you guys are going to be experiencing for the playoffs. So here it is. I'm going to pull up my trusty Canva here. So in Premier, there are 19 squads. You've all been divided into pools, and that's going to be the seeding stage. So we're going to start right at 8:30. So make sure you are there at 8 o'clock, ready to rock and roll. We're going to announce some pretty important announcements, and then we're gonna get started. So check-ins at 7. You get a team photo. We have a little thing for your squad, and then you guys are off to the races. You'll start the squad seeding stage. Everybody, for the most part, will play 2 other squads. You'll have an hour rest in there sometime. So for the first 3 hours, we're doing that, and then we have a little break. We have a little transition. We're gonna get set up for the branch stage. So after the seeding stage, we'll take all your records and we'll rank you guys 1 through 19, and the ties, there'll be some 2-0, some 1-1, some 0-2s, and then we're just going to rank you. The ties are going to be first decided by records, then by match points. So if you won 9-4, you got a plus. So if it's 9-4, you guys have a +5, and etc. And those points, match point differential, is going to help break ties the first level. The second level is going to be game points. So total points scored on all of your nets and all your games throughout the 4 rounds. That'll be how the next level breaks the tie. So points matter. Points matter in the games, even though you only get 1 point, and that ultimately determines your record. The game points do matter. So, and then that's how we'll divide the field into 4 branches. This is our branch stage we talked about.
Real quick, Alex, going back to the first one, just out of curiosity and for other players, the first pool, we have 3 teams in our pool or 4 teams in our pool, correct?
Correct.
Do you want to explain how many times we play the other squads in that before we move on to?
Yeah, for sure. You're just going to play everybody 1 time. So it'll be a group of 3 squads or 4. you're going to play 2 matches. If you get put into one of these pools with 4 squads in it, you're going to play one team and the other 2 are going to play each other, and then the winners will play each other, and then the losers will play each other, and that'll be your 2 matches for your seeding stage. But it's just a one game, one match, 4 rounds. By the way, each match takes about an hour. That's if you keep the 2-minute rule to place your teams out there and move nice orderly manner, and that's our plan. Okay, so that's great. And now we're in the branch stage. You've now been divided. The tournaments, the field's been divided into 4 groups, 4 branches, and whoever was placed, first, we'll do a snaking method. So it'll be ranked 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's how it's going to be divided. 3 of these have 5 squads, and 1 has 4. Just a nice lucky number of a prime number of 19. And so it's okay, because what happens in this stage, you're going to play everybody in your branch, 1 game. There'll be 1 bye. You'll have a break in between there. And at the conclusion of playing everybody in your group or your branch, the top 3 squads from every branch will leave, and they'll enter the final round of branch stage on level 1. Those top 3 squads will have a chance to play for the Division 1 championship. They're still in it. So there'll be 12 squads at the end of Friday, who are still in it. 12 of 19. That's exciting. So there's 12 of you that are still in it, and you have just as good a chance as anybody else. So when you wake up Saturday morning, you'll be gunning for that. The remaining 7, or the bottom 3 or 2, they will come over here and get split into the Division 4 and 5 levels, and they'll battle it out for Division 4 championship. And why do we battle out in Division 4 championship? Because it matters. There's gold medals and silver medals and bronze medals for the Division 4 and the Division 5 champions. Points. But there's points. Every state gets. We're counting all of your points per player for wherever you finish in the whole entire tournament. And whoever wins the state award, you're going to get free these cool T-shirts with the top 10 rankings, and your state will be number 1, and it's bragging rights. And so everybody from your state, cheer them on, because if you guys win the state award, you guys are going to go home winners, champions, and you get the free T-shirt. And so I'll tell you, Kaleb, who's our best shot right now? Who are our top states who are gunning for that prize?
I know Buddy thinks that's the case, but he doesn't have enough squads. Idaho is bringing like 9 squads.
No, California's got quite a few.
California, Texas, Idaho,
Ontario, British
Ontario.
Columbia.
I think those are the main
Texas,
ones.
Yeah. And you could potentially win the award with fewer squads if you all win a certain, the higher you are in the division, the more points you get. So Division 1 champion is going to have significantly more points than a Division 5 champion, and even a Division 2 champion. So everyone's playing for everything. And the reason why we created this tournament to begin with, one of the reasons why is because we got tired of people leaving early at tournaments, forfeiting matches. There's no reason for that. We're here to play. We're here to have fun and celebrate the greatest sport on earth. And so we've incentivized everybody to stay to the very end and enjoy your journey. And plus, you're playing in the same skill level, and that should be a lot more enjoyable than playing and getting beat up by a higher seed and then leaving and bailing. Okay, just to finish this off, so you guys are clearly understand. So Saturday morning, we all wake up. You will have been assigned a new group inside the final stage of branch play, and it's going to be a new set of 3 squads. So if you finished top 3, then you get to move on out of this stage. And if you were the first team, let's say Buddy Hammond, Mission Viejo, ends up first, and he was in branch A, well, he now still gets the number 1 seed, but he gets to go to a different branch and be the number 1 seed. So branch A is now going to become branch B's first place squad. And branch A's second ranked team will just stay there. And the third ranked team is coming from a different branch. It's going to come the different direction. So now the third ranked team in branch A will actually be the branch B's third place. So I don't want to overly confuse you, but just understand we don't want you playing this. You already played the other people. There's no reason for you to play them again. So we're going to still have you be the first seed, but you're going to be the first seed with a new number 2 and a new number 3 from a different branch. So it's pretty cool. It's a really great way of, and so you'll play everybody in that group. You're not going to play another number 1 seed. They'll all be in different branches. So you'll still be the alpha dog, right? Alpha squad, or the 2 or 3 seed. And so that should give you a good shot wherever you are. If you take first place after playing everybody in your group, you are qualified to play in the Division I semifinal. And of course, if you win the Division I semifinal, you are now going to the championship game on Saturday afternoon against the other division semifinal winner for the big money. And that'll be the same case for second, third place. So if you take second place out of here in your group or your branch, then you'll end up playing Division II semifinals or Division III semifinals. And then again, if you made it to, if you split off and you came here to Division IV and V, then you're going to be playing your own little, it's all listed here. I'm not going to go into the details of read the doc. And that's the same thing for Challenger. They have 2 less squads, so it's a little different, but not much, you know. So instead of in Division 4 and 5, it's just Division 4, and then up here is exactly the same.
So just to summarize this,
yeah,
basically this is, you are playing in multiple different pools throughout the day that get increasingly more difficult and increasingly more your skill level. And then obviously the top play for the prizes, and then everyone else plays for trying to get the highest spot. And that's basically it. You're going through the pools, they're getting bigger or smaller, and they're getting more your skill level, and that's it.
Yep. And what's really cool, and I mentioned this before on a previous Zoom call, you can still lose a match here, and you can still advance. If everybody goes 1-1-1, then your match point margin matters, right? So you could still drop. I just think that's a really great way. It's reflective to me in my mind. I'm a big NBA fan. It's the best of 7. You know, it's the best of 7 in NBA finals. Hockey, baseball. And so this is indicative. You get 3 matches, and you know, obviously you go 2-0, or you get 2 matches, you go 2-0, then you're moving on. You've kind of sealed your, can only be 1 2-0. So seal the deal with 2-0, but you drop 1, you might still have a chance. Okay. Buddy, any questions about these before we move on to the next thing?
No, that feels good. I love it.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Kaleb, I'm bringing this over. Okay,
as you transition, just to cover the women's division, they are doing a traditional tournament format. So there's 6 teams. You'll play 5 games on Saturday and anywhere from 2 to 3 games on, 5 games on Friday and 2 to 3 games on Saturday. And it's a double elimination up to 3rd place. So it'll be really fun. We got a lot of excitement there. Okay. Going on to how to actually report scores. So we have the software, it's in testing, but we don't want to run the risk of, having a bad experience. So we're all going to be recording our scores via a board. Okay. If you guys have watched the Queen's Gambit recently, we're using pencil and paper and just turning it in. That's really all that's happening. So how this goes down, squad format, you have your 7 guys. We've talked about this before. You are going to write your team name in one of the boxes, team A or team B. I write my name in team A, Buddy writes his name in team B. Now I am team A and I'm placing first. So I'm going to go ahead and place my players with their ranks on the board. You're going to see pictures on either side with the actual squads, because you'll receive.
I'm just going to briefly just display kind of a version of this.
Yep. So you'll see the squads, their ranks, and you'll see which players are going where. So you'll put your players out. You guys will then play a game, and the other players will match. You want to make sure that you're within the pair score. So we've talked about this several times, but just to really make sure you guys have this. If I have a number 1 ranked player playing with a number 2 ranked player, that pair score at that net would be 3. Okay. So, and I do this all the way down. If I'm matching, I have to be within 3 up or down of whether that pair score is. So if they put their 1 and their 2 together, that's pair score 3. I couldn't put a pair of my own together that exceeded 6. And it doesn't really make sense to go below, because you can't go lower than 1 and 2. So that's what the parameters I have to go within. And you're doing this the whole time. Alex, you want to add anything there? I think that's
no. And so just be excited about this. These boards, these forums, they're awesome. They're colorful. There's pictures, there's rankings. You don't have to worry about figuring out who everybody is. You'll know who you're playing. It's going to be easy, simple, and fun. Let's just say that. And we're not trying to complicate it. We're trying to actually create what Kaleb always calls it, it's spike ball chess. And it just got a lot more exciting. And I think you guys will really, 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 really enjoy this a lot. So, okay.
Going on to the final thing, this was in our notebook, but we talked about this idea of a 2-point net and it changing. So we really wanted to make sure that everyone's teams are ranked accurately, and so we put in some consequences or rewards for those who did that. Essentially, if you're in a final round, round 4, final round, one of those nets is going to always be worth 2 points. Which net that is determined by the overall net score. The net score is essentially the team A's pair scores added to team B's pair scores. So if I have my 1 and my 2 out, that's a pair score of 3. I then, as the matching team, am forced to also place a lower team out. So probably, let's say I put my 3 and my 2 together. That's a pair score of 5. That would total 5 plus 3. The net score is 8. Okay. And then everyone goes down and does the exact same thing. The net that has the lowest pair score is going to be worth 2 nets.
Lowest net score. Sorry,
net score is worth 2 nets, which means that this is going to be the most competitive game that showcase your strongest players. And if you misranked your players, well, it's too bad because they probably won't be on the 2-point net.
And then we'll add one thing, which is understood. You could force a banning mechanism, which is if you tie 2 nets. So let's say net 1, net 2 both have a 7. A net score of 7. They're the same. So there's no clear lowest net score. Great. Now you get to do what we love to do, which is called banning. And so Kaleb and I, one of us would go first and decide which net I want to ban first. Now it's going to be the first team to place gets to decide this. They get to decide if they want to go first or they want to ban first, second. They just get to decide. So the second team got to match the teams and force what net was going to be the nets that going to be the 2-point net. And then the first team to go first, the person that put their players out first, gets to decide if they want to ban first or second. You will then look at the 3 pairs, and then or 3 nets, and you will say, I don't want net 3 to be worth 2 points. And then Buddy will say, great, well, I don't want net 2 to be worth the 2 points. And so therefore net 1 is going to be your 2-point net. And it's usually not necessarily the highest skilled level of competition, but the most competitive competition, because it's the 2 nets that the other team doesn't want to be the 2-point net. And it just works out really cool. So either way you do it, it's going to be the 2-point nets are going to be way fun. And what you'll see is everyone's kind of coalesces around that net, and everyone's cheering, and every single round we have cool scoreboards and for the overall match, and it's just a really, really fun experience. Okay, let's move on to the next thing, Kaleb. Let's talk about squads.
Okay, sweet. Let's pull up that sheet and
tell me which one you want to go to first.
Yeah, I'll.
This is where we got.
Okay, so first let's talk about Seattle. Let's just go down the list. We'll talk about the top six teams.
All right, let's do it.
Now you want to zoom in there?
Yep.
Okay, Buddy, have you played Malachi before?
I've only played him like a very small amount of times, but he's just him and Pack both. Anthony Clifford there. Wait, is that Pack?
That's Pack.
Yeah. Just make sure. Both of them. I mean, either one can pop off with some crazy serves. So if I found myself on the net against both of them, anything could happen. Not too familiar with the rest of the guys, but for the most part, that's a big serving presence, and they're young, so I think they have the endurance and the excitement to power through the whole weekend.
And Kaleb, you just got done playing Pack in a finals in a tournament, a big tournament here. How was your experience with that?
His serving is scary to say the least. But But it's just to highlight two of these other players that I know. So Evan Denny, he's a premier player. I think he's like 50th or 60th on the Fuengos rankings. So pretty good. And then Brooks Massey, non-premier player, but probably the most athletic non-premier player I've ever seen. He's insane. And to have that as your number 4 is a really good thing. I've actually also played Trevor. He's also very good. So I think
I'm a little nervous, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, he's gonna slaughter us all. So that's Washington, and they're actually the number 1 seed going into this, just based off of all their team collectively. Let's go over to Cote, so Vancouver, BC, British Columbia. Okay, buddy, let's talk about Blake and Etienne.
I mean, Blake has probably no-touched me more than anyone, except for no, he's up there, honestly. Like, he has both hands super wide with pace, and he's one of the most athletic guys in the sport. I don't know if you've seen his fitness stuff, but the dude's a tank. And Etienne is probably one of the top 5 defenders, honestly. He gets hands on everything. He knows when to be close to the net, when to be deep. So his net awareness is really good, really tricky hitter, and his serving pressure is up there as well. So very similar to Seattle, where both those top 2 guys I have a lot of experience, or have experience playing against, and it's gonna be a showdown for sure.
Yeah, and then again to highlight, Buddy's got the pro experience. I've played their number 4, and their number 4 is also freaky athletic. And we've talked about this a lot, but how well a team performs is obviously if you have an all-star at every single net, that's awesome. Like Blake and Etienne are going to carry those nets 100%. But if you have players like Nick, and I don't know the rest of these, but if you have players who can support and potentially steal a game from a game that they might lose, that could be a big game changer. So, okay, so go for it.
No,
that team, one of the strongest top 2 players, if not the strongest top 2 players, coming to this event. So that's saying something going into it.
Well, and it's interesting. As I've traveled and gone to these larger tournaments, I'm starting to watch more and more of these pro players play, like Buddy and Clark and Frederick and everybody else and Etienne, and it's crazy. But I will tell you that at the end of this tournament, all these names that we don't know yet, we will know. You're about to make a name for yourself. We've got 6 pro players and a lot of top 100 players coming to this tournament, and a lot of the next future top 100 players in the country. And so it's going to be fun. Yeah, here we go. Next one, Jack. Kaleb.
So Zested. So this is Dallas, Texas. We all know it's coming. The big boy, big boy himself. Where is he at?
There we go.
What is that first? Frederick Hinkle? Fred? Huh. I don't know anything about the guy.
Yeah, I've never met him.
It's all through. I've only seen it through video. No, I mean, obviously I have a ton of Fred, and well as anyone, when he is hot serving, there's not much you're gonna do about it, right? He can hit you in the left hip. He can no touch you with his reverse. He can no touch you with the pace he puts on his cut and the width that he gets on it. And just all around solid player. I've had a ton of fun mashing up with him in the past. Got to play some with him just a weekend ago here in California. So I'm looking forward to getting some more experience against him. And AJ Hutchinson was actually one of my clients through the RoundNet training program, doing health and fitness, strength training stuff. The dude's an athlete. He has a really good understanding of the sport. He gets to so many balls, and I'm excited to see his athleticism out there this weekend.
Yeah, I'll just vouch for AJ and Lewis. Played them in Premier in our pool, and they're a tough team. They want it very, like, they're not the kind of team that to just give up, and that's Texas in general, right? Like they're going to fight for every point. They're not going to let a call go, and that's going to be a huge advantage for them, that culture. So definitely a strong team, and then something just to comment on is someone like Frederick Hinkle, or you got Blake and Etienne on a net. With these, comparing the 1 to the number 7, if these guys should just win those games. Like, there's 4 games that they have a chance to win. They have to win those games. If Frederick Hinkle loses at a net, and that's a really bad sign, because that's their anchor right now. I think they probably have the team to make up for that. But Every
Fred,
player matters.
if you lose, it's not a good look for your team. I would hate for you to. I don't want to dwell on that much, but just to be clear, not a good thing or a good look if you the number one,
Oh,
lose.
of course.
You know,
Yeah, let's just go to Mission Viejo while we're at it. Let's just
he's gonna be hitting the ball 5% harder this weekend too, just for that comment. I know it.
we're speaking of number ones. Let's talk about a number one. I personally have seen one of the coolest round net experiences of my life, having watched Buddy Hammond at the national semifinal last year in Texas. If you haven't seen the videos, we were there in person. My little quick story is, I was sitting there at the tent talking to people about this playoffs, and all of a sudden the kids came up to me and they said, "Dad, Buddy Hammond's about to lose." And I was like,
which I still
score?
have a conversation with your boy about, for the record.
Yeah, well, I looked at the score. It was 16-19. I think the score was 16-19. So all common, most wisdom in round net will tell you that, yeah, I don't care who it is, you're probably going to lose that game. And I looked at the scoreboard and I said, nah, Buddy's going to win. They're like, what do you mean, Dad? I was like, winners win. And I tried to use this principle. And I said, this Buddy Hammond is going to win this game. So I walked over there. I think 20 minutes later, we finished the game in overage. I think it was like 25-23 or 27-25. And it was the most electrifying match I've ever seen. So if you guys get stuck in a tight game with Buddy Hammond, just be grateful it's a hard cap to 15. So
yeah, I will not be giving up. You could be up 14-0. We're gonna find a way to try to chip back.
100%. So this is anyways, it's great to have you here at the tournament, and obviously number one. So tell us about your team, buddy.
Well, I was gonna say, to be fair, I've been on both sides of that, right? I've been up big in games. I was up 19-14, I think, or something against Double Clutch in Seattle, and we lost. You know, it happens. There's highs with the lows, but yeah, that one is for sure one of the most memorable experiences of my competitive career. But yeah, in terms of my team, I'm not gonna say too much about these guys, because, you know, I want people to be on their heels a little bit. Like, yeah, I don't know too much, don't know what to expect. But Trevor Barbosa, I mean, kind of his reputation precedes him. He's an incredible athlete, for one. He's very like stoic, but I've been seeing a little bit more energy come out of him, which I like. And his serving prowess, just people are going to be surprised, I think. And Andrew Cummins, which it's funny to see Andrew. We call him Drew. I've known him as Drew as long as I've known him. He's one of those guys that hasn't traveled a ton, but his, again, overall athleticism and just awareness and his baseball background translates so well into the sport that I think he's going to be a defensive force and a bright spot for our team that people don't see coming. And the rest of our team, I mean, we have serving pressure, we have athleticism. And I'll be honest, I don't know about the overall experience about high intensity situations. That's, again, what a lot of the 4, 5, 6, 7 players are going to experience this weekend with a lot of eyes on them. So my role as a number one, just kind of not being a coach per se, I want to give them feedback. I want to make them feel at ease, remind them we're there to have fun and play our hardest, but also get to see them in these higher tense situations. So that's what I'm looking forward to most, is just having them get that experience and hoping working through them and tell them, hey, I've been here plenty of times. Here's the mentality we need. And then hopefully drives us towards winning this whole dang thing.
Yeah. Well, hey, you bring up a really good point. I just want to touch on real quick is, round net is similar to tennis in the way that how a player reacts to negative situations. You know, you have you and your teammate, and you obviously there's some camaraderie there, but if you're just missing your serves and you get mad and you go off, you know, you've disappointed one person, which is your teammate. But now you're in a place where you've got 6 other people that are on your squad. So one, like Buddy said, being a leader is going to be really important. You know, setting the tone for your team, how to deal with, you know, mental stress on a high level, right? Because you said, like, a lot of these guys, these 4, 5, 6, 7s, they haven't had the experience against losing against Frederick or the pressure of playing against Etienne and Blake, and they're going to experience that.
They're jumping in this event with the opportunity to win as much as the pro players win at a major event. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot on the line, and this is an event that I've never
at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I've won a squad event that's next on the accolade list. Like, I want it bad. So I'm gonna hype these guys up, and we're gonna come out strong.
And just a reminder, and we'll go this next squad here. Just a reminder of the unique opportunity this is to play as a community, to play as a group. within your region and your area. And we did force you guys to go find some players. Yeah, we know there's probably 7 premier players and pro players you could have grabbed. We know that. But we did this for a reason, for you guys to try to grow your scene, but develop new players, bring people in. This is going to be the coolest experience. And then just to get them hyped, but also just to see how well how deep is your program. Not how great the very top is. Now, not that being said, we have a big announcement for next year's playoffs. If you haven't seen the booklet yet, we just announced the all premier division called the Pro Division. And I do believe it's $30,000 being put into that division. So, and you get to bring your best players, period. There are no restrictions on skill level. You just bring your 7 best. And so those that come to this tournament know what they're about to experience, and they're going to experience cool things. But next year, just get ready. We're building deep programs. Okay, next one.
Yeah, let's just highlight 3 more teams. So let's go to Beach City, Ohio. This team is similar in a sense to Washington, where their top 3 players are pretty experienced and really good. Jensen Miller just won the Christmas Classic. I don't know if everyone watched that video, but he's a solid player. And Michael Bart, by the way, played these guys at Premier and Nationals, and it was a tough game. They beat us, and they're just, I would say, some of the nicest guys I've ever played against, but also just really just athletic, and they got all the skills. I don't know if you've played against these guys, buddy, at all.
Jensen, I don't have a ton of
Michael
against them. I know Michael Barkman. I know Rendell Weaver, like on a decent level, and I've played against Rendell a couple times. And I think the last time I played him was like the Atlanta qualifier, possibly. But yeah, I mean, he's one of those sneaky good players, you know. And to see him as their number 3, I'm like, all right, let's see how it goes with their 1 and 2. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to get a taste of some new players as well and see how I stack up against them.
Cool, sweet. Let's move on to okay, 2 more. So Waco, Texas, with Fernandez as the captain. I actually don't know these guys very well, but they had pretty good points on Fuego. Let's see. There it is. Kaleb Cummings. Do you know Kaleb Cummings or Chase Meyer?
I know both of them pretty well, honestly. Kaleb hits some of the most fireball serves that I've seen. So when he comes at you with a jam, he's got a big arm from a baseball background as well. He can put some absolute pace on it, hits the crap out of the ball. And overall, defensively, he moves really well for his size as well. So not looking forward to playing him. Obviously, I'm very excited to play him, but not looking forward to having to bring my skills against him. And Chase Meyer is crafty as well. He understands the game really well. He's a student of the game, and he just loves to play. So I'm really excited to see both of them out there and get a chance, because they're both close with Noah Johnson, who's on my team. So if we get to match them, I want Noah to have a chance to try to beat these guys. Or if I get to play with Noah against them, that'd be a really fun matchup.
Yeah, well, it's likely to happen. And then just a shout out to Tyler Fernandez, who basically pulled this team together out of whole cloth. Like, seriously, like kind of an incredible story how this team came together. But he's a very positive influence, really nice guy. And that's kind of one thing. There's going to be so many opportunities to develop friendships. They're going to be sitting on the sidelines watching people a lot. So make friends, play stupid games with each other in your breaks and stuff. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the last one here, which is Neptune, New Jersey, with Connor Prelich as the captain.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. There it is.
There it is.
I just off the bat, Connor's got to be one of the most likable and funny, goofy dudes in the community in general. And some of the content he's been putting out has been so spot on. And we all know they're number 1. Gabe's one of the top players, has been since he's been on the scene in terms of his athleticism, serving. I mean, the way he matched up with Max Modell and some of the electric plays he made last year and in the years past, it's, I mean, we all know him, we all love him, and I look forward to squaring off with him.
Sweet. And then let's talk about the women real quick. Let's talk about obviously the number 1 seed for this tournament is California. I don't know the actual numbers on this, but pretty sure out of the top 25, every single last one of those women are in the top 25 in the world. Last time they came out with the ranking, I'm pretty positive there might be 1 or 2 that aren't on there, but you have 7 players and 7 of them are in the top 25. I think that's a pretty
You have a good
strong
shot.
team.
But buddy, you play with these women all the time, so tell us.
Yeah. I love looking at all the names on this list, is how tight their community is. Like they are such big fans of each other. They hang out outside of the sport. They're good friends. There's going to be such a good energy, and they're coming in with a lot of confidence. Obviously, I mean, Kara and Kayla and Joelle, those three alone have so much travel and tournament experience that they're going to be able to boost up their team. Perrin's been playing a ton. Malia is absolutely freak of nature. Alex has that lefty touch, and she has Sam Buckman in her corner, which I don't know if you guys know.
Yeah, good little
He's
coach husband over there.
He's one of my least favorite people to serve receive, and Seb is one of the sweetest girls I've ever met, and the energy that she brings to the team is just going to be electric. So can't wait to see these guys square off with the other women, and to kind of see how some of the other women step up against them. But I have a very strong feeling California is going to do what they're meant to do and come out and win this thing.
Okay, well, let's talk. Yeah, let's talk about. Let's go to Idaho, Utah. So we had some. I might as well address this here. Why are there certain states combining? Well, the reality is lots of states aren't as big as California. Okay, just get over it.
Okay.
No, but it was a big effort to try to push to get these teams together, and we granted a couple exceptions for Washington and Canada, and so this is kind of how this Idaho team came together. And to the dismay, I think this is actually a really strong team. Camille Anderson is the only girl and her partner to actually take a game off of Olivia last season. Olivia and the twins. Now you can talk about whatever that means, but it happened. Whitney Fair's top 8 in the world, I think.
Whitney is great. Whitney takes the games off me all the time, and whatever that means, she's very good. And I always had the privilege of going to Montreal this year to go to the tour stop there, the whatever it was over there, and Camille and Whitney teamed up, and they took on Canada's best women over there, and they took care of business. And I don't think they lost a game in all of bracket, and they're very good together. And to see them come back together again, because they don't play much together. And I think it was once last year, maybe twice is all they played. Whitney's other partner that she always plays with this last season was Harmony. As you don't take her for granted. Her spikes and her sets are some that you need to be careful on, and there's gonna be fun to watch.
And I have to give a shout out to this Nicole Gailey girl. I don't know who she is, but she's the captain for the team. She's a great team leader. We practice a lot. We've been practicing probably 2-3 times a week every week, and she's a strong, positive force, and also a highly skilled player. So, and all these guys, by the way, have been friends for like the last 5 years. It's cool to see them come together.
If they didn't all come through Idaho too, I mean, Amanda lives in Idaho.
Every last one of these people besides Liza came through BYU Idaho at some point.
So it's at its heart, very, very Idaho, and I'm excited for all these girls to play together. So, okay, so we're out of time, and we honestly could do this all night, but Kaleb and I have about 8 to 10 hours worth of stuff to get done for the playoffs. So we're gonna go finish off our tasks so we can get there. But reminder, 2 things, big announcements. Tomorrow night, we're having a meet and greet at the park, Heritage Park, 7 o'clock to 8:45. We are painting fields, a lot of circles. And if you got to come help, hang out, just play, it's all cool. The concession stand is going to be open. We'll be there. Coming out. We want to see you. We want to meet you. It's kind of a fun thing to hang out. And so hopefully you come. The other thing, just make sure no cleats. We're just painting those fields, so we don't need to repaint them again before we play on the next morning. Second thing, as you can see from my appearance, I'm wearing the official American Spikers League gold-threaded Richardson ASL Observer hat. Now you might say to yourself, how do I get one of those? Well, I'll tell you how you get one of those. You, during your breaks, volunteer to help us observe. When you observe 8 matches, we're going to give you a special exclusive event t-shirt that can only be purchased and bought or earned at this event. It's got the date, it's got the playoff logo, it's a cool shirt, and that's available. If you observe 12 matches, you get to keep the hat. regardless, if you do observe 1 to 2 to 6 or 7, you'll come to the hat. So you'll come to the tent. You'll borrow a loaner hat. We'll disinfect between everyone, don't worry. But you'll come borrow one. Every observer will be wearing this hat, so they'll be easily identified and marked. If you want to be an observer, you have to take our observer certification quiz. It takes about 20 minutes. And it's kind of fun to take. We recommend you do it. We hope you all do it. And we hope at least at the end of the day you come. Kaleb, how many days do you have to observe to get something out of our drink cooler?
Yeah, just 2 rounds, which is half of a match, which is, maybe like 20 minutes. So
yeah, two rounds. Be observed, be certified, of course. Come to the cooler. We got drinks for you. Every time you observe 2 rounds, drinks on us. So help us make this. It's one of the cool things about this tournament we've been trying to pull off, which is how to get more quality observers throughout all of the tournament, not just the finals. And that's one of the things we're trying to accomplish. And hopefully this gold threaded Richardson ASL unique hat will do it for you. But
Did you rehearse the specs on that hat a couple of times? That was nice.
I may
He has certainly said it multiple times. Let me tell you.
It's laminated above his computer, so he didn't mess that specific thing up.
Gold. I just want you guys to see the gold threaded Richardson.
Gold plated.
I mean, we're not talking anything. This isn't black thread. Gold threaded.
Clean. Absolutely clean.
Okay. Anything else, buddy, you want to say?
No, I'm just stoked. You're putting 8 to 10 hours of administration work beforehand. I'm gonna go put 8 to 10 more hours of serving in and kind of doodle out too bad, but we'll see. We'll see how the arm holds up.
And in fairness, I hope everyone appreciates how much fun you're gonna have. But I just shout out to Kaleb. He's one of the best partners. I've had a lot of business ventures across the years, and I can't tell you how much of a pleasure, how much I enjoy working to work. We have a great time. We get on the call 6 to 8, 10 hours a day. For the last 2 years, we're not stopping here. It's going to keep getting bigger and better. We're hoping to open more leagues in your community. If you want to open up more leagues, this is the big show and tell. This is what we do all year long with your community. And so if you love it, there's more to come. And yeah, and I think the biggest sacrifice we made was we went to Youth Nationals last year. We did this exact same thing, the exact same format, Friday, Saturday, 16 squads from all over Idaho and Utah. And I can't remember if anybody else came. And we had this tournament. And we had so much fun coaching it that we said, well, we want to play in our own. So we created this one so that Kaleb and I could play in it. And then we saw how popular, how much you guys wanted to come and how many people are going to be here. And we said to ourselves, maybe not this year. So we're not playing as much as we want to be playing. And it's going to be, we're going to be envious of you and we're excited to watch you. But at the end of the day, thank you for coming. Thanks for supporting this. And we're super excited to see you guys tomorrow night and Friday morning. Okay. Anything else?
Okay. See you guys.